For sure. I mean, to quite an extent, it's something we've been talking about for the better part of a year, that you've had a number of incidences in the Middle East over the, in recent months over the course of the past year. And as you guys have noted, it hasn't really had much of an impact either on regional assets or really on sort of global risk-sensitive assets either. In part, we think that's probably because there's been a lot of competing news items globally that have perhaps pushed Middle East news a little bit to the side. So you've had, what's happening with Brexit, the US-China trade war, more recently what's happening in Hong Kong. Frankly, even something as mundane as tweets coming out from Donald Trump. I mean, these are all things that have really captured a lot of the headline space.
So what determines whether or not this price momentum can be maintained, and what's your outlook from this point on?
I think it comes down to two things, really. I mean, first of all, there's the macro side, the economic side of things. How quickly can Aramco get production back up and running? If it takes time, how quickly and how much of the gap can actually be plugged by other sources? Because if you do have oil prices elevated at these levels purely due to the supply constriction for an extended period of time, that is ultimately going to weigh on the outlook for global growth, given that domestic demand indicators have been weakening somewhat, especially outside of the US. So that's going to be a key concern. The other side is going to be the geopolitical risk premium, which now there is a recalibration, as you point out. But what really investors are waiting for now is to see, is there a risk that this escalates into an outright military conflict? And I think what's been important thus far is that throughout the incidences that we've seen over the past year, Saudi Arabia and UAE have been very cautious and they have been very careful not to escalate. There hasn't been a war of words. They've been very careful in terms of not pointing fingers and so on. So that continued approach, I think, would help keep the geopolitical risk premium somewhat lower than it could otherwise be. But at the end of the day, the situation we're in right now is frankly unprecedented. This kind of attack is unprecedented, and it does draw in global powers as well. So there's that concern is somewhat going to be there nevertheless.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.